Welcome to Ifemi. I'm super stoked you can join me. Welcome to the module, and we're going to get right into it. I promise that in this module and through this program, I'm going to be a blend of many things to you. I'm going to be your big brother. I'm going to be your coach. I might even be the ex that that left you, but had a pretty good relationship with you and is still looking forward to your success. So in this particular module, I'm going to be talking about why I think you're single. Now, one of the things I will say right off the bat is I need you to have an open mind because I'm going to be dealing with the ugly truth. You may not exactly agree with some of the things that I say, but the beautiful thing about it is my job is, as a man, talking to women and helping you as a woman get your man. That's my job. So I'm going to talk to you about relationships from a man's point of view. They've talked about the book Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. In this particular perspective, you're going to be learning real, honest, practical strategies that you can use to reposition yourself in order to be able to attract the kind of men that you want. Are you ready? Let's get into this. All right. So why are you single? Sweetheart, I hate to break it to you. You're single because you're letting your fantasy get in the way of your reality. Can I say that again? I know it sounds like a pretty good rhyme, right? Your fantasy is getting in the way of your reality. Now, what does that mean? Every woman has a list, right from being kids, especially if you go grocery shopping and things like that, you usually have a list. Tomatoes, spinach, avocados, you want to get this grocery and that. Most women operate with a list. And unfortunately, you take your shopping list when you are actually looking for a man. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. You probably have a list that looks like tall, dark, and handsome, something like me. A guy who's probably over 6 foot tall, or preferably in your case, taller than you. You have a list sometimes that the guy should not be younger than you, or you don't want somebody who is younger than you. You don't want somebody who is shorter than you. You have a list of everything. Or like we say from where I'm from, you have a spec. You know what I'm saying? But here's the interesting thing about it. Your spec has a spec. You know what I'm saying? So your spec has a spec. So let me get into it. Your fantasy is standing in the way of your reality. Now, every woman has that checklist. This is the kind of guy that I want. This is the kind of thing that I want him to have. So let's go into this. Dating, sweetheart, is a numbers game. I'm going to say that again. Dating is a numbers game. So let's break it down. Let's imagine you have a sample size of 100 men, all right? And you say to yourself, oh, I want to marry a man who is perhaps Christian, right? Now, depending on where you are in the world, right? I don't know, maybe you guys are not evenly split, but let's assume that you say you want a man who's Christian, and in your environment, it's split. So it's 50% Christian, 50% Muslim. Now, what have you done? The moment you said you wanted a Christian, now you are down to 50 men. You have chucked out half of the population simply by saying you want a man who's Christian. Then you say you want a man who is 6 foot tall, or at least 6 foot tall. You want a man who is of a certain age. You want a man who has this, that, and the other, maybe has his own car, lives in his own crib, or something like that. Now, what's happened? You've gone all the way from 20 men, probably down to, I don't know, let's say 7, right? And from those 7, right, you want him to be able to be earning, I don't know, $30,000 a month, $40,000 a month, whatever the case may be. Now you've gone from 7 to probably 2 men. Now, do you see that by the process of your list, you have eliminated almost 90% of the population? And that's one of the major reasons that you are single. Your fantasy is standing in the way of your reality. So just by having a list, you've totally chucked out people. Now, am I saying that you shouldn't have an idea of what you want? Absolutely, you should. But think about it this way. If you buy a drink and the bottle is all snazzy and beautiful, it's a really cute bottle, right? What do? Do you keep the bottle or you drink the drink? It's really quite simple, isn't it? No matter how pretty the bottle is, what you really want is the drink. And the problem that many women are making is they are throwing away the drink because it doesn't come in the bottle they want. I'm going to say that again. One of the biggest challenges you have is that you're throwing away the drink because it didn't come in the bottle you want. Let me break it down and say it this way. Love is a gift, but love doesn't always come in the package you want. Can I say that again? Love is a gift, but sometimes love doesn't come in the package that you want. And so the problem many of you ladies have is that you're throwing away the gift because it didn't come in the box that you wanted. And I think, no disrespect, sweetheart, that is ridiculous. Let me use another metaphor. Imagine a fisherman, right, at the river, and you've gone fishing and you say to yourself, I want to catch, I don't know, let me see, I want to catch tilapia. I want to catch tilapia fish. And so while you're fishing, catfish swims by. You're like, nah, I don't want no catfish. Mackerel swims by. Nah, I don't want me no mackerel. Spotted trout, speckled trouts, shawa, eel, whatever, name the fish, they all swim by. And you say to yourself, no, that's not what I want. What I want is tilapia. I think that's ridiculous for a fisherman. You know what's going to happen? That fisherman is going to wait a heck of a lot of time for something that they cannot control. So what should the fisherman do? Really quite simple. The fisherman should catch all the fish. Catch all the fish. And when you've caught the fish, then you can start sorting out the fish. Then you can say, not this one, not this one, not this one. But when you, from the get-go, say, this is the kind of fish I want or nothing else, you're totally missing out on a plethora of amazing experiences with amazing people who could perhaps be your significant other. Remember that I said at the beginning of the video, while you have a spec, you gotta recognize that your spec has a spec. Or let me put it this way, are you your spec's spec? You know what I'm saying? Do you have the specifications that your specification has? Are you the dream of your dream spouse? Do you get what I'm saying? So for example, let's say your crush is, I don't know, let's say Idris Elba. Idris Elba is your crush. You're like, oh my God, I can do anything for, just give me some Idris, right? And you're really stoked and excited about that. That's your dream man. But Idris has a crush. Idris has his own spec. And let's say his spec is, I don't know, just for the heck of it, Jessica Alba. Alba, right? So Idris Elba has a spec. It's Jessica Alba. Now, should you be denied of love simply because you are not Idris Elba's spec? I think that it's quite unfortunate, quite disrespectful, and I think it's discriminatory. Let me give you another example from a man's perspective. Now remember, I'm telling you how men think, and sometimes the ways that perhaps you might be sabotaging yourself. So let's use this example. A woman can discriminate against the guy based on his physical features. And she says, well, I'm not going to marry a guy who's shorter than me. I don't want to marry a guy who's younger than me, blah, blah, blah. Now, saying those two things generally are not within the guy's control. So when he was born, it's not within his control. His height, most in generally, is not within his control. So if it's okay for you to discriminate against a guy based on his height or his age, how would you feel if a guy discriminated against you based on your bra size? So the guy says, I want a girl with double D's, and the best you are is an A. If you ain't got no double D's, I ain't gonna rock with you. Now, how are you gonna feel? You're gonna feel objectified. You're gonna feel like he didn't even see my personality. He didn't even get to know me as a woman. He just judged me on my appearance. But isn't that what most women do? That's what happens when you have a list. So, as we come to the end of the model, here's my challenge for you. Write down your list. What are the things that you said you wanted in a guy? Write it down. And when you're done writing, throw it away. When you're done writing your list, throw it away. That way, you are much more open-minded to being able to access much more people. But I'm going to deal with that in the next module. So don't go anywhere. See you soon.